Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and today we're back at it with another standard deck tech straight out of Aetherdrift Standard. This one's called MUFFLER, and what I wanted to do is to try to explore just how deep and how crazy we could get with the exhaust mechanic. There are some really cool cards that we experimented with in draft, and I thought, you know what? This could actually work as a standard archetype, one that's kind of budget. Granted, a lot of the cards that are coming from older sets are definitely not budget in this deck, but a lot of the cards that are actually coming out of Aetherdrift are somewhat budget, and the deck still works extremely well. We get an insane amount of value every time we activate an exhaust ability. We have Agatha's Soul Cauldron to be able to give all of our creatures certain exhaust abilities, and other abilities that aren't exhaust but work super well with this build. So before we break down the deck, please like the video. It helps me get the video out to so many more people. It helps the channel grow, and I would appreciate it so much. Just hit it. Just smash it. Just do the thing. Don't be a poop head like this guy. He's a positive poo. He sits on my hat and makes fun of me when I make play mistakes. It is what it is. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video. Tons of crazy deck techs on the way. I'm going to be appearing live at the first Shattering in South Carolina in just a couple weeks, March 21st through 23rd. So if you're interested in that, I do have a video up detailing everything that's happening at that event, and you guys can come out and hang out and meet me and play games with me and all sorts of crazy stuff. So I'm going to link that in the comments and in the description if you guys want to check out the video with all the details on that event. Also, catch me live Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/quarantinecapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming. I'm going to stop wasting my breath and wasting your time. Let's dig into this deck. So this deck is called MUFFLER, and we're using exhaust. We're trying to abuse exhaust to its highest potential and get the most value out of it as possible. Now, because of the deck being mostly artifacts, we're running 4 copies of a card that everyone's kind of forgotten about, which is Jhoira, Ageless Innovator, a 2-mana 2/3 that can tap, put 2 Ingenuity counters on Jhoira, and then put an artifact card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield, where X is the number of Ingenuity counters on Jhoira. So basically, if Jhoira enters play, survives the turn cycle, she can then tap to put any 2-drop artifact directly into play. So even your removal suite, like our 4 copies of Chainsaw and 2 copies of Legion Extruder, can just come out at instant speed whenever we want, nuke whatever we need to kill, and then just be on the battlefield. And then it gets even crazier, because Jhoira, the next time user, adds another 2 additional Ingenuity counters and can put out something that costs up to 4. That's an artifact. So that lets us get our Boommobile into play for free. And getting Boommobile into play for free is nuts, because it still adds 4 mana of any one color that can only be used for activated abilities. So if we get to save all of our land to use for the exhaust ability on Boommobile, and then also make an additional 4 mana, we get to actually activate the exhaust ability on Boommobile for a lot, way earlier than we should be able to, and just kill literally anything we want on the field, put a counter on Boommobile. Sometimes we can even just use it to just do a bunch of damage to our opponent's face and just kill them outright towards the end of the game, and that can be pretty wild. But we're also using another card in this deck that people have kind of forgotten about that's really, really good now that there's a ton of prevalent artifacts from Aetherdrift, and that's Poetic Ingenuity. This is an enchantment from the Eldraine set. No, Ixalan. It was Lost Caverns of Ixalan. 1 red and 2, whenever 1 or more dinosaurs you control attack, you create that many treasure tokens, and also whenever you cast an artifact spell, you create a 3/1 red dinosaur creature token, but this ability triggers only once a turn. Almost everything in this deck is an artifact, so you're almost always casting at least 1 artifact spell every single turn, just making a free dinosaur. And because using vehicles, which this deck is heavily tilted towards, requires you to have ways of crewing those vehicles, being able to make sure every time you play a vehicle, you make a 3/1 dinosaur that can potentially be used to crew that vehicle in the future, kind of helps you shore up more ways to crew your stuff, so that you don't run into a situation where you're running out of ways to crew your vehicles, which is really, really nice. But just generating a ton of value by making these dinosaurs is also kind of nuts. And if the dinosaurs themselves survive and get to attack, you get to make a bunch of treasure tokens, one for every single attacking dinosaur, which is also really crazy. And to go along with that theme, we're also running one copy of Lifecraft Engine. We have a ton of vehicles in this deck. We bring down Lifecraft Engine and we name Dinosaur. Now, not only do all of our 3/1 dinosaurs we make with Poetic Ingenuity become 4/2 dinosaurs, but every single vehicle we control is also a dinosaur and gets the +1/+1 buff from Lifecraft Engine, and when all of our vehicles attack, they all trigger the Poetic Ingenuity to give us more treasure tokens, which gets absolutely insane. We're also running 3 copies of Agatha's Soul Cauldron, which is just nuts in this deck. Not only is it really good with all of the exhaust abilities, which we're using a ton of, but Jhoira's ability herself, when she dies, because most of the time you're going to play her on 2, your opponent's just going to kill her, you're never going to get to use her. But the way this deck makes it work is it kind of doesn't matter. They kill Jhoira, put her in the graveyard. Eventually, you get the Agatha's Soul Cauldron online. You get to exile the Jhoira, and every single creature in play now becomes a Jhoira, and each of them can tap to put a 2-mana artifact into play for free. And if any of them survive, they can tap to put a Boommobile into play for free, which is just absurd. But there's so many other crazy things we can use with Agatha's Soul Cauldron in this deck as well. We're running one copy of Loot the Pathfinder, which after playing this, I think we might want to iterate and update this deck and maybe increase this to like 3 copies, because Loot's just insane with the Soul Cauldron. He's just nuts. But he's also insane with all of the exhaust payoffs that we're running that we'll get to in just a minute. But if we exile the Loot with a Soul Cauldron, turn all of our creatures into Loots essentially, all of them now have these exhaust abilities, that gets absolutely insane. But we're doubling down on exhaust. So we've got 4 copies of Rangers Refueler. Every time we play an exhaust ability, we get to draw a card, and if we can get multiple Rangers Refuelers out, we start drawing multiple cards every time we use any one exhaust ability, which is nuts. And not only that, but the Rangers Refueler has the ability built in to use its exhaust ability to trigger all of our exhaust payoffs and become an artifact creature, so that we don't even have to worry about having a way to crew it. So if we're making a bunch of dinosaurs with Poetic Ingenuity, but our opponent's using up all their removal to kill all those dinosaurs so that we can't crew our vehicles, we can still use the exhaust ability to turn it into a vehicle anyway, and we basically made our opponent waste all their removal for nothing. And in similar fashion, we use Rocketeer Boostbuggy as well, which is a 3/2 artifact vehicle for 2. And whenever it attacks, you get to create a treasure token, so even more treasure tokens. In fact, if you have this in play with the Lifecraft Engine, naming Dinosaur, when a Poetic Ingenuity is out, the Boostbuggy attacking will actually give you 2 treasures, which is kind of awesome. But this also has an exhaust ability for 3 mana where it becomes an artifact creature and gets a counter on it. So it's another way to trigger draws with the Rangers Refueler, and we're also using 3 copies of Rangers Aetherhive. Whenever you activate an exhaust ability, you make a 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creature token with flying, which is awesome. So a lot of times we can use one of our exhaust abilities to make a Thopter, and then use the Thopter to crew the Rangers Aetherhive, and maybe even hold the Aetherhive up as a blocker, because the Aetherhive has vigilance. So really, really cool combinations, a lot of synergies in this deck. We're also running 1 copy of Marvin, Murderous Mimic, so he can pick up all of the activated abilities, whether it's the Jhoira abilities, or the loot abilities, or whatever the case may be. As soon as all of our vehicles become creatures, Marvin copies their abilities as well, so he can get the exhaust abilities copied off of Rangers Refueler and Rocketeer Boostbuggy, and all of those exhaust abilities can be used once on Marvin. So even though all it really does for Marvin is give him a +1/+1 counter, it's still a way to trigger your exhaust abilities so that you can draw cards off of your Refuelers and make tokens with your Rangers Aetherhive, which is really, really good in and of itself. We're also running 4 copies of Twitching Doll. Not only can this come out on turn 2 to ramp us into going super wide with our vehicles, especially in a game where we don't have Jhoira in our opening hand, but eventually we sacrifice the Twitching Doll to make a whole bunch of spiders equal to however many counters are on the Twitching Doll, and then we can exile the Twitching Doll from our graveyard with the Soul Cauldron so that all of our creatures become Twitching Dolls. And you gotta remember, guys, when our vehicles turn into creatures, whether they're crewed or whether we use their exhaust abilities to turn into creatures, all of them are going to pick up whatever abilities there are that are exiled with the Soul Cauldron. So all of our vehicles have the chance to become, you know, copies of all these creatures that have all of these abilities, basically. Not copies, but they get to gain all of the abilities from everything we've exiled with the Soul Cauldron. So it can get really, really crazy. And being able to exile a Twitching Doll from your graveyard and turn all of your creatures and vehicles into Twitching Dolls that can then sacrifice to make a ton of spiders themselves can sometimes just be really absurd and super good. The last card is just one copy of Tranquil Frillback. And that's because we've noticed that there are some very problematic artifacts or enchantments that can make problems for us, and we want to have at least one way in the deck of finding a card that can deal with those problems. And this one's very versatile, can also deal with graveyard problems, gain us life against aggro, that sort of thing. But the thing that puts this over the top in this deck is just the fact that it is a dinosaur. So even though it doesn't fit into our artifact synergies, it is going to fit into our synergies with Poetic Ingenuity and Lifecraft Engine, getting the buff from the Lifecraft Engine and being able to make treasures when it attacks from the Poetic Ingenuity. So it is a little bit of extra silver lining value there. So I kind of like having the Tranquil Frillback. If we were running a best of 3 version of this, we would probably have more of these in the sideboard, as well as maybe the mites that you can sacrifice to exile artifacts or enchantments. Because artifact decks and enchantment decks are kind of problematic these days, and having ways to deal with it is super nice. But at least one of these in the main deck feels good. And that's really the deck. We're running an assortment of Surveil lands and some of the Verges and some of the fast lands. We've got 2 Fabled Passages and 1 of each basic. And then we are running 1 copy of 𝐸𝑥ℎ𝐿, just a way to pump out mites if we're out of gas, and we can use those mites to crew our vehicles sometimes. So sometimes they can be super relevant. We can even equip them with like a chainsaw that has a ton of counters on them to make them relevant threats themselves. So I think running 1 𝐸𝑥ℎ𝑙 is absolutely worth it. But that's the deck. I'm kind of in love with the idea of it. I don't think we're quite at the final iteration of the deck. I think it's going to continue to evolve. There are a couple other cards worth experimenting with, like Redshift, and it's definitely worth experimenting with more copies of Loot for sure. So you'll probably see a further evolved version of this deck at some point down the line. But for now, this is where the deck stands. Now let's check out the games. This looks fine. We can keep this. Twitching Doll on 2. Poetic Ingenuity on 3, hopefully. Alright. The doll is down. Looks like our opponent's playing Esper. No. Domain 𝑍. Yeah. Domain 𝑍. Can we kill 𝑍? Yes, we can kill 𝑍. But do we want to kill 𝑍? I don't think we do yet. I think we want Poetic Ingenuity down first. Pass a turn. Up your beanstalk. Sure. Pass the turn. He's gotten up the beanstalk. It's a 2/2 creature, so we can kill it. That's probably a good thing. I think it was a mistake animating the beanstalk. There were definitely certain situations that you should. Not this early. Oh, damn. And your sun falling. Eating up your own beanstalk? It's crazy, man. You are crazy, man. Boostbuggy. 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 Rangers Refueler. Pass the turn. Show me. Show me what you've got, Sasha. Show me how crafty you are. Hey, what's up, Crispy? Welcome to the stream. Overlord of the Hauntwoods. Hardcast. Interesting. Interesting. Here's what we're gonna do. Swing, swing. Make some treasures. It's gonna block the Boostbuggy. Which means that we're gonna take care of the Boostbuggy. Give me that dinosaur. Give me that Overlord. Alright, end the turn. You got another Sunfall? I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it, Sasha. Oh, heard my wish. Interesting. Interesting. Well. Hi. Aw, he's a dummy. He's a dummy. That's okay. Not everyone's brilliant. He needed to triple block it. He needed to triple block it. It's possible we should have just let it die. Because if he has another Sunfall, it gets exiled. But if we let it die, we can pull it out with Agatha's. Really, you're gonna attack? It's pretty ballsy, man. Add 3 mana. Six. 7. We can kill the Overlord with the Boommobile. We don't get to attack with loot. But we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh no, we're 1 short. Because we don't get to attack first. That's kind of tricky. I guess we just... destroy the Overlord. And now we have 2 more mana. Do we Soul Cauldron? No, we want to use the loot ability, right? But we'll attack first. Actually, I should have... Damn it, I should have crewed the Rangers Refueler and attacked. It has double strike. Knucklehead. Knucklehead. Alright, we have 2 more mana. If we use loot, we could have 4 mana. I don't think we want to waste that, though. I think we're just going to end the turn. I want to hold loot up as a blocker, but I also want to use him to draw 3 cards. Another Overlord of the Mistmoors. Well, this time we'll take care of you with Boommobile. Hopefully. Don't really understand the attacks, but sure. Draw 4 cards. Oh my god. Well then, Boommobile 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We can only Boommobile for 5. That's kind of frustrating. Let me think. I guess we just go like this. Too bad it doesn't have trample. Why does he keep doing that? Why does he keep making the same mistake? It has double strike, which means it has first strike. Do we want to use mana to play a 4-drop or 2 2-drops? Instead of hold, I'm worried if he's got removal, keeping him held up is a waste. And we don't have anything we can use the mana for at instant speed. I guess we do. We could exhaust, right? So yeah, we'll just end the turn. We'll hold it up as a blocker, and if he happens to have the removal, we can dump the mana into either exhausting or maybe sacking something to the Legion Extruder. Probably exhausting. What is he doing? I don't understand. Do you not realize how First Strike works, Sasha? You're crazy. You're out of your gourd. Unless he must just have a Sunfall, right? Yeah, he's got a Sunfall. So we'll draw some cards. We'll let all the creatures die. And when he passes priority, we'll exhaust the Rangers Refueler before we lose the mana. Another Day of Judgment. Okay. Oh, that chainsaw's looking mighty nuts. Good God. I don't even know, guys. I don't even know. Nothing has haste, so let's just put a bunch of stuff into play that doesn't die to creature removal. And then we'll just try to kill him next turn. Our chainsaw has 12 counters. 12. Alright, we gotcha. We gotcha. No blue for Jhoira. All we can do is cast Chainsaw. He's on the play, and he's fervent, which means he likes red. I think we just need to keep it. And be content in the fact that we can kill his first creature. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe we did mistakes. I thought for sure he'd be playing aggro and we needed to keep the chainsaw. What would you like to do, opponent? Nothing? A whole lot of nothing. A whole lot of nothing. I think we try and keep this. Pass a turn. What the heck is our opponent doing? I'm so confused. I am so confused. Just all counter spells? Is that it? Is that all you run? Raids the Legion Extruder. Okay. Kind of weird. Well, if we play Jhoira, we can't also play an artifact. I guess it probably makes sense, though. Doesn't know if he wants to counter it. Alright, pass the turn. Unsummon. Okay. It's gonna be one of those games, guys. Stalking up. You do that. You do your stalking up. We'll try to play Jhoira again. And we'll play the Rocketeer Boostbuggy. And the Rocketeer Boostbuggy will make a dinosaur. Dino DNA. Burst lightning my dinosaur. That is so mean. Why do you do that? Why would you burst lightning my dinosaur? So that you can play Cursed Recording. So that we can Tranquil Frillback. And destroy the Cursed Recording. Right? Just trying to get out in front of any potential counter spells. Kill the Cursed Recording. And gain some life. And end the turn. I'm glad I brought that guy. Yeah, I think you did, Foozy. But I still think this deck is great. I really do. Want to get it up on the YouTube channel before moving on to other decks. Finally kills my Jhoira. That's sad. Now we just need a Cauldron. We have 5 mana. 5. Two, 3. I guess we'll go like this. And then we'll go like this. And then we'll go like this. And then we'll go like this. Make some treasures. Thank you, Tranquil Frillback. And then what do we play? I think we play the other Rangers Refueler, and we save the last treasure. I would rather play the Lifecraft Engine next turn, when I'm going to be attacking with all my dinosaurs. We got 6 mana pre-combat, no, 7 mana pre-combat. Bunch more afterwards. you got, Kamal? For a second there, I thought it said Kamala the Fervent. Oh, you're scooping? We didn't even get to do our cool stuff. Alright, we'll keep this. We'll Thundering Falls. We'll Twitching Doll on 2, probably. We'll keep the land. Unless we need to kill something. Poetic Ingenuity on 3. Carrot Cake. Let's dig. Take the Refueler, sure. Card draw is good. And now, if we end up getting our Tranquil Frillback, we can actually get rid of it. Hello, King Kaboko. Don't make it shop. Of course. Well, we are at least going to punish you. By eating up your token. Unless you want to waste your removal on it. Just to save your 1/1, okay. And you give me maps? I'm all about this. We're gonna go, let's see, I think we want green. We probably want to kill that, right? So that he can't make another doll. At least not yet. Attack 3. Make a treasure. It's fine. Let's use one of these. The other one I'm stacking to the Legion Extruder for sure. What do we have in the yard? You know what? We're gonna keep that. There's a whole lot we can do with that Soul Cauldron. A whole lot. 2 Skrelv's Hives? Are you crazy? Dude. This guy's bananas. This guy's bananas. Absolutely bananas. Out of his gourd. Swing, we'll make some more treasure. We probably want to save the treasures to sacrifice to the Legion Extruder. But I guess we could put the Soul Cauldron back. And the turn. Ow. Ow. Never play 2 Skrell's Hives. Too much, man. Overlord of the Mist Moors. Alright. Well, we're going to tap you for red. Tap you. Sack this. Then we're going to Soul Cauldron to get rid of your Get Lost. My turn. Another land? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. That's crazy. I want to attack with the Aetherhive. Alright. That's lethal. What are you going to do about it? In fact, even if you take 9 and block 1, it's lethal. Probably should have just attacked with the doll too. Because he can't block with the mites. And he's losing 2 at the beginning of his turn. Are you out of your mind? What are you doing? What are you doing, King Kaboko? We will keep this. This looks wonderful. Glorious. We'll start with the Hedge Maze. Try and dig. Yeah, we'll keep the land. Better to get land early and not late. Discard. You know what? I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to actually get rid of the chainsaw. I think we're going to be able to draw a bunch of cards off these Refuelers. And he's not going to have a lot of creatures early for us to get rid of. Although, I guess I was kind of wrong. Alright, Poetic Ingenuity is down. Pass the turn. Nowhere to run. Alright. Another Poetic Ingenuity. Oh god. How greedy do we get here? See, the problem is he's going to make us discard again. So I think our potential to draw is way more important right now. So we're going to have to do it this way. Oh, I could have attacked with the Refueler. I should have crewed it with the dinosaur. That's okay, though. That's okay. Alright, make me discard the Poetic Ingenuity. That's fine. That's fine. I ain't scared. Another Jhoira. Well, we're gonna do this. Do we play the land or do we keep it to discard? I think we keep it to discard. I think we keep it to discard. Because he's clearly going to have more coming. What you got for me, Great Oak? Show me the greatness of your oak. Rotmouth Viper. Interesting. Very interesting. So... we definitely want to get this down. And then we definitely want to crew this with this. And then we definitely want to attack. And make that. Now the question is, do we want to draw an extra card by exhausting this? Or do we want to chainsaw second main to get rid of the Viper? I think we need to get rid of the Viper. So, we'll let it die. We'll hit him for 6. And we'll hope you know you're like a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfluffin' chainsaw. And now I think he's too far behind. Right? Nightmare my Jhoira. Don't really need it. If I top deck an artifact, it's over. Another Jhoira. I think I would like to do this. 2 treasure. How about no blockers? How about that? Let's crew with the thing that doesn't have haste and smash for lethal. That seems pretty good. So long, Esper Pixie. I hardly knew ya. We are going to keep this for sure. We get to play Twitching Doll on 2. We get to start with a Surveil land. All is right in the world. He's got to cut down. We're going to boost Buggy. We are going to boost Buggy instead. Pestilent Siphoner. Through with the doll. Swing, get a treasure. Play another Boost Buggy. So we can get more treasures. More treasures is good. We need to play you. through both of you. That's rude. But it's fine. It's how the cookie crumbles, you know? Play another Twitching Doll. End the turn. So, Marvin, the Murderous Mimic. Hey, we were just getting started. How dare you? How dare you? Alright, we're going to keep this. We're going to start with the Thundering Falls. Try and dig for some value. Play a turn 2 Jhoira. We'll keep the Boost Buggy. We shall keep it. Alright, Jhoira is in. Was tempted to play the Boost Buggy, because we could play the Jhoira next turn, through the Boost Buggy, get a treasure. All that good stuff. We'll play out the Poetic Ingenuity. Negate. Interesting. Okay. We'll pass the turn. Completely dumps my Poetic Ingenuity. Wild. Oh, we'll get the Boost Buggy down. Then we'll play Aetherhive here. Then we will exhaust. And we'll attack and get a treasure. And we'll end the turn. What you got for me? You got a sweeper? You very well could. Mistmoors. That's fine. I ain't scared. I ain't scared of your Mistmoors. Who did you miss more? Thank you for the follow, Jag. Appreciate you, my friend. We are whooping some ass. We are, in fact. We are, in fact, whooping some ass. Swing for 7. Make another treasure. And the turn. Even if he sweeps, we've got a couple vehicles here. Nope, he's going to play Zerg. And let's see, animate the Overlord. It is what it is. It is what it is. Can we race it? Can we race it? That's the question. Jesus. Hey, thank you so much for the cheering, Jag. My nose is sounding like a muffler today. Alright, we have 4 mana. We gotta be aggressive, right? Here's what we gotta do. We gotta exhaust. To make some boys. And then we gotta do some swinging. We gotta do some swinging. Oh man, more cheering. It's get some celebration in the chat for Jag. What a real one. What a real one.
Let's rock!
Alright, swinging in for 10.
My calculations are correct.
Gonna double block there.
When this baby hits 88 miles per hour,
I'm kind of okay with that.
you're gonna see some serious shit.
Alright, we put him at 10. We have a pretty big board. And the turn. We could jam loot next turn. We are for sure going where we're going. We don't need roads, okay? He can gain a lot of life, for sure. But if we can survive, we have a ton of damage potential on the board. I mean, that's a no-brainer. You gotta do that. Let me think. 3, 5. We want to kill the Mistmoors, right? Can we? Yes, yes we can. We do this. We trade both of our dudes for the Mistmoors. It's fine, everything's fine. We'll go to 7. Chainsaw's looking mighty crazy. Kinda just wish loot was an artifact. We're just like a little bit short. We're just a little bit short of mana to do everything. And it's kind of a bummer. I guess we do the thing. I guess we just attack with loot, right? And we hold back blockers. Hello, sir. Yeah, we just swing with loot because of the vigilance. I think we end up instant speed putting Marvin into play as a chump blocker. Or maybe just as the thing that crews the Aetherhive? That might be better, because then we get to double exhaust next turn, if loot survives. Yeah. So we hope that loot survives. We put Marvin into play at instant speed. We use Marvin to crew the Aetherhive. And then we've got Each of our Thopters can trade with his insects. And we have the potential to block and kill the Overlord. Although we lose our Aetherhive if we do. Did our opponent disconnect? Or is he scared and running? I think he's scared, Jag. He's on the ropes. And he knows it. Oh yeah, my gold ones aren't working. I forgot.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho,
Alright.
ho.
It's your turn, Mr. Ambitious. I don't know, I think he's just mentally checked out, guys. I think we done did it. I think we done did it.
You didn't have any clue what's about to happen to him.
Oh, not a chance in hell. Good night.
Good night indeed. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.